I am Shane Johnston, Director of Schools for Jefferson County. I want to just take a few moments to provide some updates to our parents and our students and our citizens about things going on in our school system. First of all, we are very grateful for the start of the school year. We've made it through one quarter with very low numbers associated with COVID-19, and we appreciate the hard work of all the teachers, administrators, and of course in collaboration with our local health department and our central office staff to work to try to keep everyone as safe as possible. Specifically, as I'm talking to you today, it is the first day of a 5-day stretch of distance learning days. And I want to just share some information that led to that decision and make everybody aware of some of the facts. Over the previous 2 weeks, we had seen actually an improvement in numbers. We have remained pretty consistent since the beginning of school of 10 to about 16 cases at any one point in time. Now, you've got to remember that covers 7,000 or so students, plus approximately 1,200 employees. So to maintain that, we were pretty proud of that and really kept a good thumb on that. We also were maintaining somewhere between 100 and 200 possibility, where the high mark had been 200 of close contacts and those students or adults being quarantined. We were somewhat concerned approximately 2.5 weeks ago. We made it up to 220-ish people in quarantine, students and staff. This began to generate some initial problems with our staffing. We were having a hard time finding substitute teachers. We were having to cover classes with various assistants and those things. So when having school and having effective school start to clash, we have to start looking at the decisions that we need to make. Then we were encouraged on Friday, October the 30th. We were down to 167 cases of kids and adults that were quarantined. But then it began to move back up. And on October the 30th, it was actually 210. It was November the 6th that it got down to 167. But then in that 1 week period between October the 6th and October the 13th, we went up to 474 students and staff that were quarantined due to COVID-19 being identified as close contact. We also saw an increase in our active cases. Our active cases went from that average of somewhere between 10 and 16. We initially jumped to about 28, and then a few days later 36, and as I'm speaking to you today at the close of business yesterday, we were at 48 active cases. So we did make the decision to move to distance learning. We already had announced distance learning days on Monday and Tuesday, November 23rd and 24th. Those were planned days that we were continuing to staircase and work our way into the implementation of fully distance learning days. We made the decision to add 3 days this week because of the safe and efficient operation of the schools based on those numbers of adults that were having to be out and get those classes covered. And then also to try to separate. We already had the 9-day window with the 2 weekends, and then next week being Thanksgiving break along with the 2 days of distance learning. And we added these 3 days to make 12 days. As you've probably heard, some neighboring districts and districts around the state have chosen to begin distance learning or perhaps ask students not to come the week after Thanksgiving. And there's much information that supports that data as well. In these times, we just take the information we have and try to make the best decision we can. Specifically, by our school district still starting at its normally scheduled day there around August the 10th, we still were scheduled to give the state exams beginning on Monday, October the 30th. It is our plan at this point in time for students and staff to return to campuses on Monday, November the 30th. Now, the window goes November 30th through basically the end of the first semester, which is Friday, December the 18th. And that includes state tests plus semester exams at the high school. And when I'm speaking of this testing, all the state testing I'm referring to is in grades 9 through 12. As you well know, the elementary and middle school grades are tested in the spring. We have end of course tests going on at the end of the first semester because many of our students are in block classes at the high school. So it was our desire to really put into place this 12-day break, hoping we will see an improvement in numbers. A lot of these students will be coming off quarantine. Of course, as a school system, we have no control over where students go beyond that, and it would, nor is it my place to inform parents or tell parents what they're to do and how they're to parent. But it is our encouragement that students and staff members that are quarantined would honor the health department's quarantining and then follow those guidelines so it will help reduce the numbers and we can get back to normal operations. I know many folks have asked the question, do you foresee us going back this semester or do you this month, or maybe even what's January going to look like? And the reality is we We just do not know. Just like we were encouraged on November the 6th by the numbers being back down, and then 1 week later astronomically higher in the number of quarantine. As I talked to you today at the close of business yesterday, we've still increased. We're up to over 600, 604 at the end of business yesterday that are in quarantine. That's students and staff. However, the number of active cases through yesterday had only gone up one more, and it was at 48, 47 from the previous day. Now, all of these numbers really correspond in conjunction and with the current numbers in Jefferson County. Last Friday, this past 13th, we were at 183 active cases in Jefferson County, and that number by Monday afternoon had gone up to almost 280. I think it was 275. So obviously schools are a reflection of the broader community they're in, so as the numbers have gone up in the general community, we are also seeing that in the schools. So we wanted to give you the rationale behind that. So my pledge and promise to you is, unless hindered in some way, this time next week, we will get information out. By Tuesday, November 24th in the evening, I plan to make a call that will give you updated information. We will continue to monitor numbers even though the students are on distance learning days. Our teachers are in the buildings, they're working, they're involved in the learning process. It could be their planning, it could be their recording lessons and uploading them for students to be able to access via the internet at home, and they're checking on students by email and those things, utilizing all the different technology means, and sometimes it's as simple as a phone call. So teachers are busy working these days, students are working as well. But on Tuesday, November 24th, I will provide an updated call. We will have some information to share with you. It is our hope that we can at least announce our initial intent for Monday, November 30th, and the week of following then, beginning Monday, November 30th. But just like we saw a major increase from Friday, this past Friday the 13th, to even Sunday evening with updated information, we may have an update on the 24th, but have to come back then on the Friday or Saturday following Thanksgiving and give an update as well. And it could require an altering of what we said on Tuesday. We will do our best to give parents as much notice as possible in all of these situations. One thing that I would like to mention is we made that call on Sunday evening that we would begin distance learning on Wednesday, November the 18th. And perhaps some people are saying, if it's getting unsafe, how is it safe to go those 2 days? We have watched this very closely. We felt like we needed that time to give parents time to make arrangements for their children and teachers time to get ready. Of course, we are using the internet largely, but we also have many students that don't have the internet, so we needed to make sure that they were prepared as much as we could. There will be some bumps along the way in these next 5 days. Those will also be opportunities for us to address concerns should we have to enter extended distance learning periods again later this semester or later in the year. So why did we go Monday and Tuesday? Well, as in our cases that were active, there was not a major outbreak at any one school. There was one school that got up to 3%. Is what it got to, and that happened on Friday, and all of that happened about the same time. The quarantining numbers went up, the active cases went up on Friday as we monitored that, and then made the decision over the weekend. The other schools all were at lower than 1% of active cases. So when you think about the cases, while we might have had a jump in cases, it wasn't in one pocket. They were spread out. And again, that one school was the one that we mentioned that just had a little uptick there. And even in that case, there was only a couple in one grade, and they were spread out in different grade strands. So in talking with our officials and those things, we felt it was okay and still certainly safe to have school Monday, Tuesday, or we would have certainly not asked you to do that. So we implemented those distance learning days beginning on Wednesday. So as we go forward, I would like parents to be aware there are supports out there. If you're one that struggles with internet and those things, we have labs at each school on the days of distance learning. Now, since the numbers are up, we're not calling those open labs, but academic labs. You will need to call your child's school, but between 8:30 and 12:30, you can come by. It may be that you simply just need a place for the internet. You can come by, you're going to sign in, and there's different guidelines. Elementary students can have one adult with them. Middle school students and high school students have a little different expectation there as well. But again, we're not going to let that turn into an overcrowded situation. In most cases, it's going to be a common area near the door, whether that's a library, a gym, cafeteria, you're going to be welcomed. You come in and have a seat. If you have a technology question, for the most part, we're going to try to find you somebody that can help either with that technology issue. If it's a content problem, you will be able to reach out to your teacher. It could be the teacher comes down to the area and helps you, or that you're allowed to go down and see that teacher. But we're doing those by reservations and by appointment. So please call your child's school. If you have children in multiple schools, we're not going to make you go to different schools, but coordinate with your principals and your teachers so that we know who to expect. And we've had people taking advantage of that even today. So we have those labs set up at each school setting for you to come in and make sure that you have help for your children. We also have internet access in the parking lots, and you can come. We sent home a form yesterday, and it's posted on our social media sites. We sent home a form that reminder, quick tips and troubleshooting on some of the tech issues. Your child should have brought home also a list of assignments that are expected over the course of the days. And they also brought home a simple page of reminding how to upload and download assignments so you can drive. And we have those areas marked at each campus. High school students, you go down to Patriot Academy. Now, you don't have to go to the school that you go to. Those internet access points are available on our website. We also have access map of community access points to help families as well. And we're working to expand those opportunities. So we have those access points. You also have labs that you can come to as well. We know that internet is different in various parts. So again, continue to reach out to your child's teacher or principal if you're having issues. We send home some academic packets. But as we close today, I do want to let you know that part of the state's guidelines this summer made it very different than the previous year. In the spring, we pretty much were all just in survival mode and doing the best we could do. It was clear this summer that we had to submit a continuous learning plan to the state, and it had to involve instruction for students, not just assignments. We are not allowed to count it as an instructional day if all we do is send kids work home and get their work back. And that's where we utilize Canvas and other methods that we're using so kids can actually be part of instruction by watching those videos and those type things of teachers teaching the lesson. So again, we're here to help you. We want this to continue to be a joint effort. We can't do it without you, and we appreciate your help and support. I'll continue to give phone updates as needed. There will probably be one later this week, and then we will also be looking for that call on November the 24th. Thank you for your support. Stay safe and healthy, and have a great day. Well, first of all, we know the internet is a problem throughout parts of our community, and not everyone has great access. In addition to having Wi-Fi access in the parking lots of most all of our campuses, there are signs up. All you have to do is pull up to those schools, and you can have access to the internet. Your child logs into the device, and you can upload, download assignments, and those type things. And that's at most every school in our district, with the exception of the high school. And those students and students that live near the high school campus are allowed to go over to Patriot Academy. Now, you don't have to go to the school where your child attends. You can pull up to any of those schools and access that Wi-Fi, and that's a service. Also, we have labs during these distance learning days between 8:30 and 12:30. It's open for you to come in, and you might be getting content help. You may be getting that academic help. You may be getting some technology support, and you may just simply need a place to have the internet. Call your child's school and set up an appointment. We are, due to the COVID numbers and keeping everyone apart, we're setting up reservations or appointments at your child's school, so make sure that you go by and take advantage of that, and that will be available 8:30 to 12:30 each of these distance learning days. Also want to remind you we have meal distributions going on at each campus between 12:30 and 1:30. Now that will go on each day this week, 12:30 to 1:30, and then buses will be leaving their afternoon and running their afternoon route starting at 3 p.m. and they will run their normal afternoon route. So all you have to do, instead of being out at your bus stop where you'd normally get off the bus in the afternoon, correlate that time from the start time being at 3 p.m. from the school, and then you can be out there and receive a meal by delivery each day this week. Now on Monday, that will be just a little bit different. Under some of the USDA guidelines, we're allowed to give multiple meals. So on Monday, we will be having meal distribution between 12:30 and 1:30 once again, but students will get 5 days worth of meals. So that would be 2 meals per day, breakfast and lunch, for 5 days, and there will be no meal distribution on Tuesday since we're handing out a week's worth on Monday. Again, we want to make sure the whole child is taken care of, and we want to make sure that you have what you need to be successful. If you're having issues, whether that's with the internet or just struggling to get assignments done, or you're confused, please reach out to your child's teacher or your building level principal, and they will provide support. We're all in this together, and we're going to get through it together as we continue to support each other, and we do the best we can do with the information we have. We appreciate your support. Have a great day. day.